this computer. Okay, go ahead, guys. So yesterday we stopped discussion on HANA. So again, I'm repeating my question. I don't know what are the answers you have with you. Presentation, you are sending a request. The request is going to application server, central service instance, and you have multiple application servers. The limitation is 100. But if you talk about the database, from the application server, the request goes to DB, whether it is Oracle, DB2, MaxDB, Sybase, or any database. Then database, your request is going to update the records in the DB, create the records in the DB, and to delete the records in the DB. Only these three things will happen. So store the information in the DB, modify the information or data, and delete. So Oracle, DB2, MaxDB, Sybase, you have seen from so many years. But after HANA, what is happening? So in HANA database, there is a architecture like system DB, tenant databases are there, and there we can implement multiple tenant databases. So where this architecture is coming into the picture? So we have application server concept and we have system DB, tenant DB concept. The same way as application server. So this is like CI. These are like dialog instances. These are dialog instances. So here, number of tenant databases we can maintain. So multi-host, multi-container instances will be there on the database. So yesterday we stopped here. So what is your understanding? I have given this open question, and now you can answer now. Even Rahul has joined. That's why I have given the background. Rahul, so it is very simple. Application layer we know PS, AS, and DB. And after HANA database, slightly architecture is different. We didn't see this architecture like system DB, tenant databases. We have only one database and data volumes we used to have. The information used to store it in the table spaces, data blocks. That's we know in Oracle DB2. But after HANA, there is a new concept called system DB, tenant databases has come to support HANA DB as part of in-memory computing. Where this will fit? That is my question. Yesterday, we have started this discussion. Anyone can answer, right from Rahul. Rahul, can you start now? Harshit, Rahul, Kausab, Nandish, Manohar. Rahul, is this audible?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you be a bit louder? It's not audible. Yep. Go ahead.
I'm not sure about that. So, yes.
Okay. Kausab, this question I have given yesterday, not today. So from yesterday we are having this discussion with multiple people. So some people said application server, the concept is replaced with the HANA DB, with the system DB, tenant DB concept. And why? Because to support in-memory computing, we don't have multiple layers like AS and DB. We have only one layer called HANA DB. On top of HANA DB, we have in-memory computing. So RAM is having storage like persistent storage you have, and this is kind of a disk storage. So that is the one kind of batch. Some people they said this is the correct answer, and another batch of people said this is kind of another layer, separate architecture. And from HANA Studio, if you are trying to contact to the HANA DB, system DB will take your job, then tenant DB, then it will contact database. So HANA cockpit, DBA cockpit. But if anyone is sending a request from GUI, the request goes to AS, then it is going to DB. So DB, what is happening, they are not sure about in the second batch. But first batch, they said they replaced these two and they are added like this. But second batch, they said, this is one type of architecture, this is another type of architecture. So there are two modes of operations after HANA. So now I want to clarify where you are on this discussion. So you are very clear on the HANA part, how HANA is exist in the market, or still you are in the confusion? Why? Because this question they asked me in Amazon interview. Amazon, I've given couple of interviews last week. So the discussion, it was started from this question. Yeah, go ahead, guys. Yeah, Kausab, Harshit, even Harshit, you can answer on this. Yesterday you have given your thoughts.
Sir, as per me, considering the SAP, the HANA is a total different architecture and SAP has ever different. And in SAP, the HANA will be used as a database only with their all application layers.
So you are making your architecture critical then? Your SAP is making this architecture very critical?
Yes, but the request flow would be like same as wherever there is Oracle, it is replaced with HANA. But
Okay.
the other things
Yeah.
remain same, like how
Yeah.
request comes and goes.
Okay. Okay. So in addition to your answer, okay, one finance guy, let us take accounts payable or accounts receivable. If they send request, the request goes to AS or AS, any of the application server, then it goes to DB. So we are contacting DB to only to update the record in the database, right? Let us take HANA, not an Oracle and DB to just forget these things. So we are on HANA. So if you are sending request from the presentation from accounts payable or accounts receivable, so the request is processed here. Request is processed, it is verified all the tables, and it has already clarified which table should be get updated, right? So the update request or create request or delete request will goes to DB, and the respective row storage or column storage, the data will be get updated. That's already we know that. So now in this case, let us take AP and AR case, where this databases coming into the picture, whether these databases will be useful for the AP or AR, or this is a separate kind of flow. What is your understanding on this?
Like for an example, that particular guy wants some query which is using some selective statement from the database. Like he just want to some report to be to be viewed.
Okay.
So it will go to the application server, and that the flow would be like one process will be assigned to it, maybe dialog process, where it will be sequentially reading it from the HANA Studio, in memory, like every data will be coming into the RAM, and from it, it is fetching the data and it is getting displayed on the presentation layer of the SAP, like in a normal flow.
Okay, got it. So from AS, the request is going to DB in the database. The request is going to in-memory computing of HANA DB, and like there you have RAM, it will search in the RAM. If you don't find anything in the RAM, it is contacting the database volumes, right? Is that your understanding?
Not like that. It is like the Oracle approach, I would say, but in HANA,
leave Oracle. I'm talking about HANA.
Yeah, in HANA, it will be in RAM, because RAM is equal to the persistent memory only, and the data which is in in RAM is equal to the data at the data volume.
RAM of HANA DB or RAM of this database, or RAM of they removed these two layers and they are added these two layers in one place. Which RAM you are saying?
I'm talking about HANA
database side RAM, right?
Yes.
Okay, that is correct. But what is this system DB and tenant DB concept? There are multiple tenant databases we can maintain under one database.
I don't have much idea, but it is kind of like multi-container concept.
Yes.
where it would
Yes.
be like giving opportunity that multiple schema can be
Yes.
stored in one database.
Yes. So database is very precious. You know that database we should protect, and you should, as simple as possible, we need to maintain data and we need to retrieve the data. But because of HANA, they are making it as critical, right? Like maintaining system DB, tenant DB. Why? Because if your database capacity is not sufficient, add some more cores, add some more CPUs we can add, RAM we can increase. Even earlier also RAM is there. Even database fault RAM is there, hard disk is there. So even if you talk about Oracle, DB2, MaxDB, Sybase database, the same concept is there. But these people, HANA, they have taken a separate concept called in-memory computing. So even earlier, even here RAM we have, RAM also we have, right? Here RAM is there. If you talk about Oracle DB, RAM you have, and database also we have. So RAM, what? So application server, whatever is processed, it will send to DB. Database side, you have SGMon, PMon, like there are different database processes. Those database processes will take the job. But here again, internally, RAM will be there. RAM will help you out. Then finally, it is going to the DB. The same way, we are already working. So after HANA, how HANA is different? Why entire world is talking about HANA today? So what is new here? So leave the functional point of view, but the technical point of view. So we know, as all most of the people are already working in SAP. So we know, like system DB, tenant DB concept is introduced. Any user request directly goes to system DB. If system DB is not capable of handling requests, if the load is very high, for the load distribution, tenant databases are there. Or you can dedicate one tenant database to some teams. So the same way, application load balancing, if one application server you want it for one finance team, you can dedicate 02 application server, 03 application server. If you don't have the load balancing, the way is first the request goes to central instance, then central service, then dialog instances. The similar architecture is there in HANA DB also. My question is that why we need this? Database is only to store the information and to do some real-time analytics. For analytics purpose, anyhow BI module is there. BI we have SLT. There are so many things we have. So they introduced architecture like multi-host system, multi-host environment, multi-container environment. Multi-host in the sense, in one host only everything can be installed. Like one system DB, one instance, multi-instances can be installed. But host is only one. In one computer, anything we can install. So some people MC multi-container. So one host, one system DB, another host tenant DB, another host tenant DB, like that. Based on the load you are getting, multiple instances should be increased. So yesterday, most of the guys, they confused. This is for the load balancing. But this is for what? Even this is for load balancing. Then why we need two load balancers for one request? For one user request from the presentation system, why we need two load balancers? Got it, Arshit? You got my question?
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
So why we need multiple load balancers for single request? Earlier we are very happy. Yes, this is introduced for the real-time analytics. Okay, so they can optimize something else. They can increase number of CPUs, number of cores, right? So because of this, architecture is became very critical. Then what we achieved this? What we achieved from this? Where exactly this is exist? As first batch of people said, they are replaced this complete concept and they are introduced this. Or do you have anything else? Open up, guys. We'll close this discussion another 5 minutes max. We'll start with the other topic. Open up. I'll explain anyhow. Just whatever you know, just keep it in front of me. I need to understand what level you are on HANA. That's it.
The reason would be for data segregation.
Is this Rahul?
Yeah.
Yeah, Rahul, go ahead.
The reason would be for data segregation.
Data segregation for data. Okay, data segregation in DB.
Yeah, like we have different tenant databases for with the different names.
Okay.
So that would be the reason.
So data segregation. Okay, can you clarify? Yes, that is almost correct. But yeah, what is data segregation? What do you think about it?
Like we used to have at SAP level, we used to have a different clients.
No, don't take this topic. So just let's talk about PS and PS only. If you just talk about HANA Studio, Cockpit, DBA Cockpit, application server, it won't come into the picture. Directly from HANA Studio, request will goes to HANA DB with the help of system DB, tenant DB. That is fine. But my question is this: one accounts guy or one sales guy, one ECC, one VCC team, one core basis functionality or business functionality. If one transaction has happened, it goes to PS, then it goes to DB. Database straight away, already it was decided here. So the resource consumption, like what user request it is, dialog work process, background work process, update work process, spool work process. If any background job is involved, like the user is trying to schedule a backup, then this will be handled by the application server or dialog instance. Then it goes to DB, that backup will be get executed. Now, what is the data segregation here? So we discussed couple of work process here already. D, B, U, yes. Dialog, background, update, and spool we discussed. So dialog job is for interactive requests. If you want to pull some data like reports or anything, if you want to schedule any job like backup, or you want to pull report of last 1 month sales or 1 month expenditure, then update, you want to make some changes in the database, then delete anything, delete, update, create, anything will happen with the update request, then spool, printing. So now data segregation, what is data segregation in your terms?
Like different tenant databases will have different sort of data based on the requirement.
Okay. Now you mentioned some data segregation, right? So in case of one accounts payable or accounts receivable, what is data segregation? So you are contacting database to update something in the DB, or to create something in the database tables, or to delete something. Anything else we are doing in the database? Your database is a container. Your business data will be stored in the container. You can retrieve, you can update, you can modify, anything we can do that. So data segregation, in the sense, what is your thought on that? What is data segregation? Even Nandish, even you can answer. Nandish, Manohar. Harshit, Rahul, Kausab. Pirluji, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. So can you explain, do you have any thoughts on this? What is your understanding on in-memory computing?
But my understanding is in memory allows to avoid to have a dialogue between CPU, RAM, and disk. So with memory, we can have the data nearest to the CPU from the storage.
Okay. Then you are saying that this is, let us take your HANA database. Let us take, you don't have this. So, okay. This is HANA database. So
yes.
even here load balancing is happening. So here also load balancing is happening because of the system DB, tenant DB, right? Then why we
Yes.
need two load balancers? That is my question. Why we need two load balancers? This is for the load balancing you have, and as you said, in the database also there are some load balancers like that. Why we need two load balancers for single request? So already we are happy. Load balancing is happening based on the resources available in the DB. The request is going to the DB. It is processing. Then you are getting a reply, or you are updating something in the DB. So there are multiple database processes in the database. Whatever the database it is, we are very happy from so many years. But when you talk about high performance analytics or huge databases, then HANA came into picture. In-memory computing is came into the picture. So as part of in-memory computing, for each and every request, instead of contacting HANA DB, in between there is a RAM. The RAM will store that information. In the RAM, if your file is available, it will get it from the RAM only without contacting HANA DB. So if you don't find that file in the RAM, it will contact the HANA DB. So where is this RAM? That is my question. RAM is here or RAM is here. So then if everything is processing in the RAM, then what is system DB, tenant DB, or what is this? What is happening in both the cases?
We need to avoid some bottlenecks
Okay,
running processes.
okay, okay. That's fine. That's fine. Rahul, Harshit.
Sir, that is the for like if we're talking about the HANA thing, so it is like to isolate the databases for the system DB and tenant DB, kind of like master server kind
Yes.
of relationship.
Yes.
That is like limited knowledge that I have over the database
That's
of
fine.
HANA.
That's fine. That's fine. No problem. I'll explain. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I'll explain.
And the RAM will be used of the DB only because it is like in-memory concept where we can perform OLTP as well as OLAP function all together.
Yes. OLTP, OLAP. Yes, that is correct. Okay, so your RAM. Okay, your RAM is part of your hard disk only. So, as part of okay, I cannot say this. Like this. Okay, so this is your database. Okay, guys, we'll conclude the session. I will conclude the discussion. Very simple, guys. Don't confused. The people who are working in basis from last 10 years also, people, they are in the same confusion. They are talking about HANA, but they don't know how HANA will work. Most of the guys. Okay. So from yesterday, almost I've discussed this with more than 20-25 people, but I didn't get solid answer from one team. Okay. So that's fine. Very simple. I'll give you the exact flow what will happen. So leave HANA part. We are discussing from couple of days on the R3 ECC. So presentation systems are there like SAP GUI for Windows, Java, HTML, web browser, business clients. So we are contacting application servers. Application servers are the load balancers. Your request will be handled by any resource here. Then it is contacting database. So if your database is Oracle, if your database is DB2, if your database is something else, MaxDB or Sybase or any database. So each and every database earlier, right from MS Access I'm talking about, those are just databases. Those are just a database. So then database management system has introduced. Database management system has introduced. So right from Access or before Access, if you talk about, let us take your laptop. My laptop, I have C drive, I have D drive. I'm using my laptop from last 10 years. So 2009, year 2010, 2009 or 2010, I've stored my pay slips in one file. So I'm not getting that file where it is stored. Why? Because last 10 years, multiple files I have created. If I want to retrieve some file, or my kid, they want to see one of the childhood photo, or my wife wants to access something from my laptop. So we forgot the name of the file. So if you don't have the management system, database management system, if you don't have the system, database is just a storage. It is just like your storeroom. So from the storeroom, we have taken everything out and we are maintaining everything in the order. So there is a management system. We are keeping everything in the order. Okay. So if you just open your store well or your almara, so gold ornaments you are keeping in one place, clothes you are keeping in one place, kids clothes will keep it in one place, gold ornaments, platinum ornaments, cash, we are keeping everything in the different locations. Tomorrow if you need something, we can go to the respective rack and you can search and you can get it. So that means organization, that management you did. So wherever, if you tomorrow, if you get one document, you want to keep it in the safe location, you are going to your store well and documents, there is a folder in the down, in the documents you are keeping there. So tomorrow if you need this file, you don't want to search everything here, so you can go there and you can search. The same way, once DBMS has come, in the sequential order, the data will be stored. Sequential order with the help of indexes, data will be stored. Tomorrow if you need one file, with the help of indexes, the data will be stored into the rows. Earlier in the sequential order, first come first serve basis, the data will be processed. With the help of indexes will be created. Based on the indexes, your information will be stored into the rows and columns. Only rows. Earlier we used to have only rows concept. Later RDBMS has come. So even today we are using RDBMS only, Relational Database Management System. So RDBMS also we used sequential, processed data, processed data, store it in sequential order, indexes will be created and store it in the sequential order by joins. So joins are there, inner joins, outer joins, like normal joins. There are different joins. I don't know how many of you came from the DB background. So in the database concept, when DBMS was there is no concept called joins. Joins we used to work, but not in this way. So like primary indexes, earlier we used to say primary, secondary, like that. But here primary, secondary and foreign keys are introduced. So when you are talking about RDBMS, your data will be stored by using the primary keys. The data will be stored into the rows, columns. So other databases, they used only row storage. But if you talk about HANA, they introduced column storage also. Rows. And if you have any doubts, guys, you can raise your hand immediately. I'll stop there and I'll talk to you. Okay. So see this is my laptop. in C drive or D drive, I've created folders and I've stored that file. So if I want to search something, I'm just going to this file folder. Okay, personal, my JCA laptop, backup. Okay, if I want some vulnerability report of some AE system or BE system, okay, I forgot the file. I want to see the DC migration cutover plan. So if I want to open this cutover plan, I don't know the exact location. I can easily, why? Because this is my laptop. But in the server, let us take this is a server. If I store like this, tomorrow I won't be there in the company. So on behalf of me, someone has come. They want to see this DC migration cutover plan. Then how they will search? How they will retrieve this file? So it's not possible. That's why database management system has come. To manage this database, there is a management system has come. So to support that, processing the data, simplify the data, store it in the sequential order by using indexes, the data will be stored into rows. This was introduced. That means everything in the database, as I told you, everything in the database, the file will be stored in the rows. Rows in the sense, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6. So tomorrow, if you run the SQL query, select star from employee, select star from employee, select star from employee, where employee name equal to Ramesh. So that means all the employee records will be verified. Then it will search for username Ramesh, employee name Ramesh. So this is the primary key. So employee name, is there any table it will verify in the backend? Is there any table called employee table? It will search in the employee table. Then in the employee table, let us take Infosys, almost 2 lakhs people are there. In the 2 lakhs people, it will verify employee name or employee ID. Employee ID, if you talk about, so employee number, okay, primary record, primary number, like primary key is employee number. If you use 720121 is the employee ID. So 720121 is the employee ID. So if you use employee name, then it has to search in the rows, it has to search in the columns. Then it will be like a complex, most expensive SQL statement. It is a most expensive SQL statement. That means lot of system resources will be useful. If your primary key is employee number, search with employee number. Then it will search in the rows and it will give you the record. So your system will be processed your request very fast. Leave this part now. We are not related to this. So in terms of DBMS or DBMS, here relational database management system has come. All the tables are related here. All the rows are related here. Whatever the tables are created in the DBMS, those are not related. If you exactly provide the statement properly, employee, I have given employee where employee name equal to 721, but there is no record called employee. So employee details is the record. Employee details is the record. Then it will search about employee only, but there is no table called employee details. So in DBMS, you should know the exact table name. Then only it will search and it will give you. But if you search about, if you talk about relational database management system, it will search about primary key. First, it will search about primary key. If you don't find anything on the primary key, it will search with the secondary keys also. You mentioned a lot of things here. Employee, employee number, or you can mention where employee number equals something, or EMP equal to Ramesh. Then either primary key or secondary key, or it will search with any of the related tables. So related tables, like by using the joins, it will search from multiple tables and it will pull that information. I want to see the sales report of one region. One region means one table, the information is not stored. It has to pull the information from the sales records. It has to pull the information from other records. It has to pull the information from the vendor's record. All the information should be consolidated and it has to display to you. Getting, guys, all of you? All of you?
Yes.
So that's why HANA came into picture. Before HANA, if you just talk about HANA, and before HANA, database part is very crucial. Once RDBMS has come, RDBMS is not that simple. We are saying RDBMS to process data, we are running SQL statements. Thousands of records are there. Pull the information from thousands of records is not that easy. So if it is like 1 TB database, 2 TB database, so in Amazon interview, they started about 20 TB of workload. How you will manage 20 TB of workload? Okay, just justify your HANA DB, how it will support my 20 TB of workload in terms of cloud. Okay, so questions will be like that. So in case of this, HANA database has come. Earlier, only row storage. To search information about row storage, it will search with the primary key. If your primary key is employee number, I have given employee number as 720121. It will search from first to last. If you have 1 lakh records, it will verify to search one single record. But if you have row storage and column storage, it will search with the row and column, then only that particular record it will be read. So, but to support that, HANA database is needed. So that is first thing. Row storage and column store to support one database processes, like database processes in case of Oracle DB, in case of MaxDB, there are 1 or 2 database processes was there. So 1 DB processes can take some load in the sense some 10,000 requests per second or 1,000 requests per second. But HANA is introduced for the real-time analytics. Real-time analytics. Today, Facebook is using HANA. YouTube is using HANA. Have you seen Facebook is hanged to load one file or to load one image or to load one video? Whatever you are searching, it is giving in fraction of seconds. That is just possible with the help of rows and column storage. That is achieved with the help of HANA DB. So, but internally RDBMS is, HANA is using RDBMS only, but this is the advanced RDBMS on HANA. We are using, along with the row storage, we are using column storage also. But row storage will be used for the real-time analytics, or if you need any live data or real-time analytics, live transactions, row storage will be used. But if you want to process any of the data, process data you want, then column storage will be used. You got it? Simple. One bank. Cashier is there in the bank counter, and however the transactions are happening, he will record in the system. So in the system, the records will be get updated in the row storage. But every 2 hours or 3 hours, the data will be captured from the rows and it will be processed and it will be stored into the columns. As loans information will be stored into the separate column, and debits will be stored into the separate column, and like withdrawals will be stored into the separate column, and customer specific information will be stored into the separate column. Loans information will be stored into separate column. But when the banking transactions are happening, everything will be stored into rows. But once the transactions are completed before their day closure, the information will be processed from the rows and it will be stored into the columns. The same way as one courier office, DHL, you can take. All the courier offices, however the customers are coming, they will take all the items. All the items. In the evening, they will go to head office. Head office, they will keep the items like Delhi items, 1 rack, Mumbai 1 rack, US 1 rack, New Zealand one rack, they will keep all the items into the different racks. So Delhi flight will start by 8:30 in the evening. By 6 o'clock is the logout time for the people for Delhi flight. All the processed items will collect from that rack and they will take it, they will send it, they will dispatch in the airport. And Italy, there is a separate rack. So in that rack, they will take all the items, they will go. So if this is not processed, is it easy to process that information and dispatch it in the evening? It's not possible. That's why column storage will be used like this. Getting, guys? Got the difference between row storage and column storage? All of you?
Yes, somewhere.
Yes.
Very simple, guys. Don't think it is very critical. But if you need some live data or real-time data, it will pull it from the rows only. But if you want some processed data, okay, I want employee ID of Ramesh, then it will pull from rows only. It won't pull from the columns. But I want to see sales report of Ramesh user for last June month. June entire month, I want to see, I want to generate the payroll for Ramesh. So to generate the payroll for Ramesh, how much expenditure is there, and when he traveled 2 times to Pune, 1 time to Sri Lanka, and the flight tickets, expenditure, bills, and then earnings, how many days leave, and he cracked one laptop. So laptop was stolen or something has happened. There is expenditure. So multiple departments, the information should be processed. It has to pull that information, it has to display. For that, columns will be stored. It won't pull everything from the rows. Rows, however it is stored, 1 lakh records, 10 million records will be stored. But pulling that information for the real-time analytics, it is not possible from the row storage. But if you have any such request, it will pull it from the columns or multiple columns. Multiple tables it will pull. But rows is only to pull the live data. Getting, guys? Got it, all of you? Any questions on this? On the background of HANA? Any questions, guys? Are you listening?
Yes,
No,
sir.
no.
Good. So then HANA was introduced. So yesterday, Amazon, they started, HANA is a failed database. Why you are using HANA? So I have started discussion from that point. HANA is not a failed database. HANA, most of the people, they don't know how beautiful HANA is. Okay, so HANA is not a failed product. Failed in the sense they are taking some statistics. 5 years HANA is there in the market. They didn't capture the market. So most of the people, they are not convinced to go with HANA. Yes, that is true. For that I'll accept. But HANA is not failed. HANA failed to market their product. So HANA capabilities we didn't understand better. So that is the reason S4 HANA new generation has come into the market. So HANA, in conclusion to our discussion point yesterday we have raised, from PS any request is coming, the request goes to, there are 2 parallel loads, guys. Okay, one load will get it from the PS and the GUI, web browser, web URL. The request goes to application server and process database. As already you know that it goes to database. So if you want to work something on the database, even old days also, Oracle, you have some BR tools. If you talk about Oracle, you have some BR tools to take the backup. And not only to take the backup, all the database related activities we can do. The similar way, HANA also, we have similar tools called HANA Studio. You have By using HANA Studio, we can do everything. Like HANA administration we can do, HANA modeling we can do, perspectives we can create, user administration we can do, roles we can do. But one functional guy, if you want to work with the AP and AR, the request goes to AS, the request goes to DB. But in the database, listen me carefully guys. So in the database, as Harshit explained, database, there are a lot of engines to process the data, to store that information into the DB. Why? Because this is not like your normal laptop, normal database or normal RDBMS. This is high performance analytics database. So your database structure is multi-core processor. Multi-core processors are there. Multi-core processors, multi-CPUs are there. Multi-CPUs are there. So the architecture is designed as multi-tenant database or multi-host databases. In the database, multi-CPUs are there, multiple CPUs are there. Why? Because HANA is designed to support large-scale databases, not like small databases. Old days, one Google database, Google database, before HANA I am talking about. Google, they are using big data, the similar like HANA. Before big data, they used to maintain separate servers for India, separate servers for US, separate servers for all the countries. But finally, consolidate all the information into google.com. Google.com is separate. If I'm sitting in India, if I search something in google.com, earlier your request will convert into google.co.us. It is very simple guys. If you just type google.com, see this carefully. Google.com I am giving. So google.com is open. But last 10 years back, if you type google.co.us, google.co.in India, there was a server earlier. So what is the difference between these two things guys? Anyone can answer? What is google.co.in? What is google.com? See this, google.co.com if I give, I am giving offered languages as Hindi, Telugu, there are some regional languages. If I type google.com, same thing is coming. Just let me type google.co.us. So it's not opening. What is happening guys? What is this? You are getting guys, google.co.bd. Why it is not opening all these things? Anyone can answer?
Like it is like country specific domains. I think like this is being currently used by Amazon also. Like if I open here, it should be like amazon.de in my area. If you are opening in India, then it is amazon.in.
Correct. So that's what I'm telling. Before high performance analytics, if I type Google, it used to convert into google.co.in. For India, you have google.co.in, right? You're getting, Harshit?
Yeah.
So earlier we used to convert into google.co.in. So what is the difference here? If I type here, I want to Richmond Road. Okay, Richmond Road. See this? What is coming here? Richmond City in Australia, Richmond City in Virginia, Richmond City in Ontario, right? Okay, Westmont. Okay, Richmond is okay. Westmont. Okay, see, Westmont village in Illinois. So this is a place I stayed. Westmont is the place. Okay, I want to search something. Okay, Bawarchi. See this? Bawarchi Biryani. Bawarchi Biryani point in Continental co.us. What is the difference here? What is happening here? Now I'll search the same way. See, google.co.in, right? Bawarchi. Okay, probably my laptop settings are there for India only. See this Bawarchi, if I type, it is giving the message as Bawarchi Biryani Centers near my place, Hyderabad. You got the difference here, guys. So before HANA, big data, if you just type google.com, google.com is different, google.co.in is different, google.co.bd is different. If you type by sitting in India, if you type google.com, it used to convert into google.india. Then India, there is a separate 3-system landscape: development, quality, production. Then if you search Richmond Road, it will search about Richmond Road in India. Is there any Richmond Road in India? It will display. But I want to search about Richmond Road in US. Then your statement is becoming complex now. Richmond Road, earlier you typed. Now you are typing Richmond Road in US. Then what will happen now? Your co.in India will contact co.us. co.us will pull that information. It will be sent to google.co.in. Then co.in will display that result. So we used to take a lot of time, but once in-memory computing has come, after in-memory computing, whatever the request you are sending, so the request will goes to google.com directly. All the consolidated information will be stored into the google.com server, the global server. This will be public cloud. This will be in public cloud. So it will pull that information from all the servers. I want to search about some Oxford University. Oxford University, your request will goes to google.com, google.com to London, like Heathrow, whatever the servers you have there. Then it will pull that information. It will be displayed to you. So it is not taking more time, guys. But earlier, 10 years back, before the real-time analytics came into the picture, you have to provide the exact information, or your statement, select star from employee, where select star from universities, where university name equal to Oxford, where location equal to London. So where clauses will be increased. When you are running one query here, Oxford, then it is displaying about India, but I want something about England. Then it has to, you have to keep England. Then only it used to display. You are getting, guys? All of you?
Yeah.
So just because of in-memory computing, what user is trying to get it, based on that it will display. So based on your history also, you are a well-educated guy, based on the history, and you are searching about some movies always, then automatically the recommendations will come. So your HANA is capable of thinking, like because of the machine learning, because of IoT, all these things we'll discuss in next 5-6 classes. Next 5-6 classes we are completely on HANA. IoT, RPA, robotics. Because of all these capabilities, HANA became very important for the real-time analytics these days. Machine learning, there are like your servers are thinking. Earlier, your database is only a storage unit, but today, HANA is not only a storage unit. There are a lot of things like machine learning is there. Your server is thinking. IoT, Internet of Things. In the Google, you searched about some car. So then your server will give you the recommendations about the similar cars. You are thinking about a movie star. For that movie star, if something has happened, or your movie star related some update is there, automatically you will get a notification. So those are derived through IoT, Internet of Things, robotics, RPA. So if you search about some movies in our Amazon, you are searching about some crime thriller movies, only those recommendations you will get it. Robotics will design, the coding will be done by the robotics to support IoT and machine learning. So RPA, robotics, all these are very similar, guys. All these capabilities are there in HANA and big data, big data, big data, and Hadoop also. We can call it as Hadoop. So all these are part of, because of these capabilities, and because of capabilities like RDBMS, your in HANA database is very important, and most of the companies are looking into HANA, but the companies, the service-based companies, they fail to promote HANA because they are not sure about the exact HANA capabilities. That's why they used to say HANA is tough, HANA is not that easy to maintain, they used to say. But HANA is very good product. That's why after S4 HANA, to simplify this, after S4 HANA, only activate project managers has to implement S4 HANA. So who is giving the demonstration on HANA? Only Activate project managers has to give. Activate project managers has to know the complete flow of HANA DB and how HANA DB will work. What is HANA DB? What are the capabilities you have? How one project will run right from the project preparation, business blueprint, realization, final preparation, go live, like complete phases. These certified people will come to know. This certification will be issued by SAP. Activate project managers. Old days before HANA, even if you are from the basis background, those guys used to start the implementation, but now it's not like that. Getting, guys? So we'll start with the HANA architecture tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll start with the HANA architecture. If you have any questions on the discussion we had today, just let me know tomorrow. We'll start with the HANA architecture. First we'll discuss those issues, then we'll start with the HANA architecture. Next 10 classes will be on HANA architecture. Okay, guys, all of you?
Yeah.
So if you're any of you, you're unable to catch our views or discussion level, just let me know. We'll use some simple terms. Okay, so just let me know, just call me or just send me the WhatsApp messages. Okay, guys, let's meet tomorrow. Bye. Okay, all of you. Yep. So we are starting the role concept now. So single role, one role can be created for one transaction code, two transaction code, 10 transaction codes, 100 transaction codes. Even the profile also, you have seen in the last class, only profile can be created for only one transaction code. So even two transaction codes also, procedure will be same. So one transaction code, 3 authorization objects you have, but 10 transaction code, so 10 transaction code approximately you can take 5 authorization objects. So total 50 authorization objects. We need to create new authorizations. We need to go inside. We need to write, we need to define the authorization field values. Then we can create a new profile and assign to the user. So like that, the profile concept will work. But the issues in the profile concept is, you can see here. So profile is a tedious process. As already you have seen, for one T code access only we spent lot of time, almost 1 hour time we spent to create profile for one transaction code access. But if you have multiple transaction codes access, then obviously it's kind of a tedious process. So in one department, we don't create profile for one T code. Usually it will be multiple transaction codes. Then profile concept, it won't sufficient. Profile concept, it won't be fit for that. Then how will work? Then how will manage? So that's why role concept is introduced in 4.7 EE. Right from 4.7 EE, the role concept was introduced to eliminate this process, the tedious process. So creation of a role is very simple. It's very simple. We can create a role compared to profile concept. And another drawback in the profile concept is profile concept is it is limited for 150 authorization objects, as already you have seen in the last class. For SC38 transaction code, you are created a profile. In SC38, you have S underscore data set, S underscore develop, S underscore program, like that. 3 objects are there. But if you want to create profile for multiple transaction codes access, then obviously the authorization objects list will be increased. In one single profile, there is a limit in adding the authorization objects. If you have more than 150 profile concept, it won't be fit. It won't fit. So let us assume basis you have 20 transaction codes. Each transaction code somewhere around 10 authorization objects are there. 10 into 20. So 200 authorization objects. So profile concept, it won't be fit. So in that case, we need to split those transaction codes and 2 profiles we can create. So that is again, it's a headache for basis guys or security people. That's why role concept is introduced. There is no limit in adding the transaction codes. Next, yesterday, as you have seen, profile can be created only for the transaction codes. But permission means not only transaction codes. Permission means not only T code. Anything can be defined. Anything can be created. So, old days in SAP R2 and SAP R3, permission means only T code. But today, you have reports access you want to provide, web address you want to provide, business applications you want to provide, BSP application access we want to provide. So whatever the access you want to provide, profile concept, it won't fit. Profile is only defined to create or to add a T code access. But more than a T code, if you want to assign something, then profile, it won't sufficient. We need to define a role. Next, profile is a subset of authorization objects, as already you have seen. But role is a set of profile. Once you create a role, automatically one profile will be created. So whatever the process you followed yesterday, this will be done automatically by the system. So just create a role, automatically profile will be created. Next, user menus cannot be created in the profile concept. User menu means what you can able to see on the first screen of SAP. Once you give user ID and password in the system, once you log into the system, whatever you can able to see on the system. So, okay, let us take Vamshi. I have given SC38 transaction code access, but I didn't tell him what are the T codes access he's having. So in the first screen, he is trying to execute all the T codes, but I have not given what are the T codes access I am giving to him. So for him, identifying his access is very tough. But in role concept, user menus can be created in the first screen. Whatever you can able to see in the first screen, whatever you can able to see, that will be changed in the role concept. Yep. So once we enter, this is the screen, guys. So in the SAP menu, this SAP menu will go, and here user menu will come. For example, this best user, we have not informed best user whatever the access is having. How we will come to know this is the access is having? For that, we need to define the user menu. We need to define the user menu. See here. So there is no user menu here. So yeah, user menu is here. So that means these are the T codes access he is having it. See this. Getting guys? If you define roles, this user menu will be created. If you create profile, this user menu, it won't be available. Getting all of you? So open a user menu, you will come to know what are the access is having it. Except this, whatever is mentioned here, except this, he cannot able to execute anything else. So SAP menu is the general menu. So that is the menu, anyone can use it. So once you go inside, you may get access, you don't get access, that we cannot say. But user menu means the user menu will be created during the role creation, and that will be used for the consolidation. And user also directly he will open user menu and he will work with all the transaction codes. Getting? Getting all of you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Next. How to create a role? That's what we are going to discuss now. So that's why these are the basic differences between profile and role concept. And because of this, the role concept was introduced in 4.7 EE. And creating role is very simple. Creating composite role, derived role, there are multiple roles. So we'll discuss one by one. So go to PFCG. PFCG, directly we can go to PFCG or go to SU02, and there is a button called to profile generator. This is the old transaction code. To profile generator, if you execute also, it will be redirected to PFCG only. So just define Z role underscore ABAP. Let us take, this is the role I am creating. See this guys, creating a role, single role or composite role. So just like composite profile which you have created yesterday, the same way composite role will be there. But we are creating a single role. So this is the role for ABAP. Role for ABAP module. Target system where you want to create. So if you want to create this role in the quality system or production system or some XYZ system, we can enter the target system, otherwise not needed. Then go to menu option here. So user menu can be created, right? So we can go to user menu. First, save the role first. See, role menu is empty here. You can able to see role menu is empty. So to add the items to this, even theory related authorizations also we can add here. So go to transaction. If you want to add the transaction, go to transaction, enter the transaction code. See this carefully guys. Enter the transaction, assign the transactions. See, the transaction code is added. So this is how you need to add the items to the role menu, the user menu, what you can able to see in the first screen of SAP. And not only transaction code, if you want to add some reports or authorization defaults, BSP application, theory tiles you want to add, or BW related like BEX web item, web template, crystal reports, or anything you want to add into the role, we can add. I want to add some web addresses, web address or file I want to add. So web address is like www.service.sap.com. So this is the website address we are giving. Service marketplace. Service marketplace. Just click on execute. See, service marketplace is added. You can able to see here. Service marketplace is added. So like this, whatever the permissions you feel it is needed into this role, and for that particular department you want to assign, you can add it from here. But profile, in the profile concept, only transaction code. These things we cannot add it. So this is the beauty of role concept. So theory related, any authorization you want to assign to some XYZ user, So you have to assign this through role concept itself. So once you are added, if you like any of the menus, like you want to inherit, for example, you don't know the transaction code here, what should be added to this user. So from menu, from SAP menu, from local system, see, this is the SAP menu, first screen, what you can able to see. I want to inherit from tools, from administration, or from development. From development, I want to add development ABAP dictionary, data modeler, user interface, select anything. If you don't know the T code, this is how we can inherit from the SAP menu. If you know the transaction code, directly we can add it. Getting, guys? So additional activities like so multiple nodes can be created here. Once you are done, this will be converted to green color. That means the role menu is created. So don't touch any variants part. Variants is needed for the background jobs to schedule or any of the job you want to run it in the background. This is needed. So workflow also it is not needed for us. Usually like ABAP teams will define workflow, and workflow in the sense sequencing, like how you want to run, how you want to execute these roles, and how you want to assign these roles. So is there any workflow defined for this organization, like managers, team leads, team members, like that? If you have any workflow, you can define. Based on the workflow, that particular role will work. So if you don't have any workflow you have, then just leave it. Otherwise, they will assign the workflow. And in fact, this is, we don't have any workflows assigned here. So don't think about a workflow at this moment. And a very important thing for the basis, guys, is authorization. Menu and authorization. Authorization, if you go, you know, so last class you have created a profile, right? If you just click on this button, automatically profile will be created. See this? Click on profile concept and profile button. One profile is created. This is the profile for role, Z role ABAP. So this is the profile you are creating for Z role ABAP. There are two buttons here. So can someone explain what are these two buttons? Anyone?
Yeah, here if you are click on this change authorization data, here we can view the authorizations and we can modify the authorizations. What are the authorization we want to provide to the particular user? Those kind of authorization only we can give by using this option.
Then second button?
And second button is after doing all the things to generate the profile, we go for this. But I'm not sure the second option. I feel that. But first option is same what I said.
Okay. So then when we'll select these two options, and which option we need to select now?
Now we supposed to choose first option, which is change authorization data. Inside change authorization data, what are the things? What are the field values? If you want to add those values, you can add it. Before going to save, we need to first generate the profile. Once generate the profile,
Who is this?
Rakesh.
Rakesh, right? Okay. Rakesh, listen.
Yeah.
So what you explained, the concept is correct, but choosing the option is wrong. What you explained is correct, but see, let me explain. I'll justify the answer. First time you are creating a role. This is the first time you are creating a role. So first time this profile is getting created. First time authorizations will be created. First time the field values will be assigned. First time we need to do the activation, right?
Good. Yeah.
So tomorrow you have SC38. Tomorrow I want to add SC16 to this role. So go to change option, go to PFCG, enter the role name, go to change option. Then you need to do change authorization data. Existing roles, if you want to modify something. Okay, earlier in this role in SC38, you have only create option. I want to add delete option also today. So existing role modification, right? Go to change authorization data. But first time if you are creating, then we need to go to expert mode for profile generation. That means first time the profile will be created. Here the profile will be created and automatically authorizations will be created. authorization field values will be created, and it will be saved and activated. For that, expert mode we need to select. Expert mode in the sense, if you have more number of objects, one by one we don't want to assign. So by default, wherever you need the full access, it will be assigned automatically, and wherever like user intervention is needed, it will display with the yellow color. There directly we can go and we can assign whatever you want to assign to the user. If you go to export more profile generation, it would be easy for the basis guys or security guys. And if you have 10 authorization objects, 10 authorization objects into 3 field values, 30 field values total. In 30, 20 field values by default, full permissions should be assigned. Then if you go to export mode for profile generation, those 20 objects we don't want to touch. Only rest of the 10 objects, if you change it, it would be fine. But if you go to change authorization data, manually we need to assign each and everything to the each and every authorization object. Usually that will be the process can be followed when you are modifying the role. When you are creating a role for the first time, there is no point in using this option. Go to export mode for profile generation. Go to yes, I'll show you. Save it first. See the thing here. It is showing in the green color, it is showing in the yellow color. Yellow color means there you need the help. That means user need to assign something here. See here, it is already assigned. If you want to keep as it is, you can assign. But otherwise, see file name access, full access I have given. So if you want to assign, change something, you can assign anything. It's up to you. So like that, see, you remember last class for SC38 transaction code, you got the authorization objects list. Those objects are located in these classes. BCA, you have S underscore data set. For this, you are created yesterday. Y data set you are created, but here system is creating the object, right? So that's why T underscore something is created. But if you are created, even for BCC, you have S develop, S program. For this system has created T underscore something. So same way, system has created multiple authorizations at a time. This is created, this is created, this is created. We didn't do anything manually, but automatically system has created. We are just created a profile. Automatically everything is created. So whatever you want to assign here, you can assign. If you, wherever you have a green color, yellow color, we can assign, or green colors also if you want to change anything. So see here, activity 33, 34 is assigned, read and write. I want to add full authorization. It's up to you, you can change it. But by default, there are some recommendations from SAP. There you can assign whatever you want. But rest of the objects, if you want to change, you can change it. This is the export mode for profile generation. Once you assign everything, once you make sure everything is in green, in EEAB also we can see S underscore T code. In S underscore T code, this is the authorization system is creating T something. And if you just click on this, see here, SC38 is added. You can able to see here. So the same way which we followed yesterday. So right click on this, and edit, activate. See, it is in the green now. So everything should be in green. So activate it manually, and so if you don't want to do it one by one like this, so just go up. So save it first. Status. Yes, now everything is in green. Just click on status, save, and generate it. Or there is a generate button here. Changed and generated. So all the objects you can check, save it, and generate it. So once you are generated, we can see authorizations, it is in the green. So if you want to make the changes into the role now, go to change authorization data. It will display, and one by one we can go and we can make the changes. You got the difference, guys? When we can select change authorization data, when we can select export mode for profile generation.
Yes.
Yep. So then if already user is there and assigned to the user. So yesterday, what is the user ID we have created? Vamshi, right? Yep. Vamshi we have created and saved. Now I'll go to user SU01 Vamshi. Just change it. See this? Yesterday we are assigned some profile like okay, role, Z role ABAP is assigned, right? So why it is showing in red color? User master record comparison has not done. So you got it? So then go to /o. Okay. Yep. So go to PFCG. Here Z role ABAP change. In this user yellow color is there. That means once you are assigned to this user, any of the user, we need to do the user comparison. Then if you do the comparison, user master records will be get updated. You're getting right? So you have seen the error messages also. Just click on user comparison, automatically full comparison you need to do. So user master records will be get updated. Why? Because user is online now. So those master records should be get updated. Until and unless user master records are updated, so you cannot able to make any changes. See, it is showing in the green color. Automatically one profile will be assigned. This is the profile will be assigned. This is the profile it is getting created for this role, right? This is a role. This is a profile is getting created. Are you clear, guys? So if you want to see what is there in the profile, see this S_data set, develop, program, and T code. So now it is assigned everything to the Vamshi. Okay, let me check. Yep, save it. Now Vamshi is logging into the system. Vamshi is logging into the system. Vamshi is logging into the system, and I have given India @123. I think I don't know what I have given. Just a moment. Yep. See this user menu. Can you able to see this, guys? This is how user menu will be created. So above editor and service marketplace. So user menu is changed based on the roles you are assigned. User menu is changed. So just click on ABAP editor and write the ABAP program. And if you want to go to service marketplace, if you have internet, we can able to see the service marketplace also. So this will be controlled from user menu itself. Yep. So the next thing, PFCG, you have seen single role creation. Now composite role. Z role ABAP _ composite. Go to composite role option. See the difference here. If you want to group multiple roles into another role, let us take ABAP. You have 50 roles or 60 roles. Those 60 roles if you want to group together, then create a composite role, save the role. See, the buttons are completely changed. We are just grouping the existing roles into another role. So here, add Z role underscore SC38, Z role underscore SC01, Z role underscore some XYZ, like that. Group all the roles. Then menus, each and every role already one menu is created. If you want to make any changes in the role menu, you can change it, but new things we can add it. See, it is deactivated. Why? Because we are just grouping the existing roles into another role. So menu can be changed, but new items cannot be added. We are just grouping together. Next, add it to the user. Any of the user, if it's already there, you can add it to the user and do the user comparison. This is how the composite role will be created. And derived role, derived, I can use option like this, Z role above derived. So click on single role only. So this is the derived role, derived role. So here, see here, transaction inheritance. Instead of creating a separate role, master role, earlier whatever you are created, this role, Z role above is a master role or parent role or a single role, anything can be called. So from the master role, master roles will be common. Master roles during the project, like initial time, like when the project is started, these master roles will be defined, and no more new master roles will be created once the project is started. So by using the existing roles or existing profiles only, we can create some new roles. We can inherit, okay, I want SC38 from this role. So the authorizations will be copied. Whatever the authorizations are created for SC38 in this role will be inherited, and we can use it in a different role. But profile concept, that is not possible. So the authorizations like Y data set, Z data set, whatever you have created, you have to use it in that profile itself. But by using the derived concept, from the parent to child, you can inherit anything. In the child, you can make the changes like Y data set, Z data set, or whatever it is, you can inherit. And in the child role, you can make changes however you want, and you can use it in a different role. And that can be used however you want. If you make changes in the authorization objects in the child role, in the parent, it won't be get reflected. But if you make the changes in the parent, automatically child roles will be get impacted. That's why parent roles, we don't touch it. So derived role, inherit. So inherit from Z role underscore SC38. What is there in this? I want to inherit from this. Click on save. See this Z role underscore SC38 in the menu. See, I have not added, but this is inherited from another role called this one. And I want to delete this. Yes, you can do that. You want to delete this, you want to delete this. Whatever you want to delete, you can delete it. So once you are deleted, then go to authorization data. And there in ZSC38, you have given create permission, display permission, read permissions. And in this role, Z role underscore derive, I want to use those permissions in a different way. So for that, go to export mode for profile generation. You will get a message like this. See this, delete and recreate a profile and authorizations, or edit the old status, or read the old status and merge with the new data. This is the feasible option here. Why? Because read the old status means old status is create permission is there, that will read, and merge with the new data. New data along with the create option, I want to add some delete option, write option, execute option, I want to add it. So that can be added here. Getting all of you? See this. Okay. So here, however you want, you can make the changes. And these are all inherited from the role called Z role underscore above. So the same way you want to use it, or you want to change something, you can change it and save it and generate it. This is how your child roles or derived roles can be created. Are you clear, guys?
Yeah, here I'm having a small doubt in the same screen.
Yeah, go ahead.
Here the one thing like a target system. If you are provide
One transport request will be created. So once you provide the target system, the next screen, it will ask you to create a transport request. So the transport request we need to release by going to SE01 transaction code, and the target system, they will be imported.
anyhow by without giving this target system, we can transfer this. I mean, we can transfer this role to some other system in the landscape, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Any other doubts, guys? Any other doubts or any clarification? So this is the role concept. Profile and role concept is done, and you guys has to practice now.
One more thing, actually we are unable to log into the system which we have
Which
shared.
system you are saying?
Today afternoon you have shared me.
Wait. Let me show you. Even morning also, there are other people, they made the complaint. I don't know, but I can able to access. Let me show you. See this? Yep. So which system you try to log in?
1909 as for 1909.
Okay. In this, oh,
Yeah.
so probably it is in the maintenance.
Almost all the systems in the maintenance.
No. Usually, like it will take some time. So you can check tomorrow.
Okay.
Check tomorrow. Probably they are upgrading. There are some new feature packs, right? So I guess they are updating.
The third one is working, but credentials was not properly updated. The third one, third entry was
This one, right?
yeah.
This one, BW4 HANA, right? So probably the complete landscape is an upgrade or some network issue. We cannot say. Okay, usually they will take 1 or 2 days time.
Oh.
So we'll see for today. So tomorrow also, if you face the same problem, just let me know. I'll share the other server details.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, we don't have these system details. They have not updated. So that's fine. Let's wait for today. And if this is not accessible, I'll give you a different system.
Sure.
Okay. Is there any other issues, guys?
No.
Yeah. So Ashish, over to you. So have you done something?
Yeah, Ramesh.
Yep.
So
I'll
sharing my
just,
screen.
yeah, I'll make you as a host. Yep, you can go ahead now on this computer. Yes. So can you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So we are starting HANA administration, guys. So we'll start with the introduction and what do you have in HANA. So then we'll try to complete the architecture today. See, HANA administration. So we have different databases in the market. So SAP is they tied up with different databases in the market, and they have tightly coupled database like Oracle. We have Oracle. They are working from so many years. We are very happy with the database, but Oracle they started releasing ERPs like Oracle Fusion and SAP. They are very strong with Java stack, and SAP they captured this market just because of Java stack. But to cut down SAP hands, Oracle what they did is they acquired Sun Microsystems. They acquired Sun Microsystems, and Java is with Oracle now. So if SAP wants to use Java, then they should be with Oracle. So from all this, what we can learn is SAP right from year 2002-2003 period when I started my career, SAP, there was a database called Sybase database. In year 2006, they acquired some Sybase database, and whatever the capabilities we have in Sybase DB, like replication, we can say in-memory computing, all these are inherited from Sybase DB, and they are started working on the HANA database. So year 2006, SAP announced they are going to release one in-memory database. From there, Oracle also, they started working on a couple of things. Why? Because SAP is giving very tough competition, and they are with Oracle, but they are thinking, they are developing their own database. That's why Oracle, they started working in the back end, and to cut down SAP hands, SAP is very strong with Java. So to cut down their hands, they acquired Sun Microsystems, and then they stopped giving support to Java stacks. Giving support in the sense, earlier, however, the support was there. It's not like that. So SAP also, they tied up with Silverlight. Instead of Java, we can use Silverlight also. But most of the people, they are not happy with the Silverlight. So the same way, the Java components are replaced with Silverlight. Still, some people are working with Silverlight. Silverlight is from Microsoft. So from so many years, R&D teams from SAP, R&D teams from Oracle, it is kind of a war between these companies. But the Oracle Fusion, what Oracle was released, that was failed. In fact, in year 2008 or 7, that was released, it was failed. Then again, Oracle, they started working with SAP, and it was slightly flexible with SAP. Why? Because that was failed. If that was successful, then we cannot imagine how SAP will be. Why? Because before HANA database, most of the customers, they used to work with Oracle database. So if Oracle Fusion was successful, then Oracle definitely they stopped giving support to SAP. Then we don't know SAP what will happen. So Oracle Fusion was failed, and still Oracle support is extended up to 2025. So 2025 Oracle support is there. By the time SAP, they thought that they are in the impression they need to capture the complete HANA market. They want to capture the complete HANA market. That means whatever the customers they are working with other databases, they should migrate to HANA. The dead end is 2025, and they are extended up to 2027 now. So by 2027, the existing customers of SAP who are on Oracle DB, who are on MaxDB, who are on DB2, they should migrate to HANA. So that is mandatory. Why? Because after 2025, 2027, Oracle, it won't be there with SAP. That is the reason strongly they are promoting HANA as a database. Getting, guys, all of you?
Yeah.
This is the background. So why people used to say SAP is monopoly? Yes, it is monopoly, because if they are not monopoly, they need to bound to Oracle now. Why? Because maximum major customers are with Oracle now. So that's why forcefully they are converting all their landscapes, all their customer landscapes to HANA. So, but if they want to convert to HANA, compared to Oracle or DB to other databases, they should give something else which they don't have in other databases. From that idea, they acquired Sybase DB. Sybase DB is inherited, and Sybase DB with SAP now. So they don't, even earlier they started working with the Sybase databases also, but they don't, again, so they have their own capabilities like MaxDB. MaxDB is from SAP. MaxDB from SAP. So MaxDB, there are some beautiful features here. Beautiful features we have, real-time analytics and BODS, BS. There are couple of concepts here. So MaxDB related some concepts, Sybase related some concepts, they are inherited, and they released another database called HANA database. I was part of R&D in year 2008. 2008 to 2011, I was with SAP Labs. By the time I was working with HANA DB. HANA DB was not released in the market, but there was a HANA DB they are going to release in 2011 or 2012. So I was part of transition team in HANA. Transition team means from traditional databases to HANA database, what we supposed to do, how to compare the table structure, how to compare the tables, how to compare the indexes, and the installation preparations also, like provisioning team also I worked here. HANA DB, the installation screens, whatever you have seen, I worked on a couple of screens there. So it is a combination of MaxDB, it is a combination of Sybase DB. Some of the features, they are inherited from this, inherited from Sybase, and they release HANA DB. So HANA DB. So HANA DB is there in the market from 2012. 2011 end they released. From 2012 it is available to the outside customers. Existing customers of HANA, existing customers of SAP, they are working with HANA from 2011 or 2010. So 2012 is outside market, they started seeing HANA products. So with the initial shipment, we don't know what is there in HANA and how HANA is beautiful compared to other databases. SAP failed to market HANA capabilities. Why? Because entire market is looking into databases like Oracle DB, other databases like DB2 also there is a market, and you can say SQL also. So I'll give you the background here. The people who are working with the Java technologies, who are working with the .NET, then who are working with the other technologies, other operating systems, you can take, they prefer to go with Oracle, and who are working on the Microsoft operating systems, who are working on Microsoft operating systems or Dynamics, who are working on Dynamics. So they prefer to go with SQL. So DB2. So we are having IBM iSeries environment, IBM hardware. They can go to Oracle, they can go to SQL, but IBM very strong integration, very strong communication will be with DB2. So there are different databases based on the customer choice. They are working in the Java, .NET, and there are some products they have a very good integration with Oracle. Then they need Oracle. Who are working on Microsoft and Dynamics, they very good integration with SQL. Why? Because Microsoft product is SQL is from Microsoft. So IBM hardware who are using, they can go to DB2. So like that, SAP used to release product availability matrix. Have you heard about product availability matrix, guys?
No.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
Was that Rahul or Harshit?
It was Harshit, sir.
So what is PAM?
Like PAM is a kind of a SAP support feature where we can see the compatibility of a SAP product with the third-party product like Oracle, OS, and their releases, their future releases, and what should be the next level we should upgrade our system, and what would be our compatibility with our existing infrastructure like OS and DB.
Exactly. Each version, whatever the versions we are going to work, we need to refer product availability matrix before you start any implementation. So it contains, if you talk about ECC 6.0 with EHP 7. EHP 7 is compatible with whatever the operating systems in the market, whatever the databases, whatever the third-party tools, and whatever the operating systems, which operating system, which version is compatible with this, and which database and which version is compatible with this. That contains the PAM contains that information. So now they are releasing as PPM. Okay, so the same report, but PPM report we used to say. So product availability matrix. This report contains this information. Based on this, you can select any operating system, any database from this list. So then only your implementation will be successful. So from so many years, we are working with Oracle DB, SQL Server, DB2, MaxDB. There are different databases. But as I told you, as I already have given the background for HANA DB introduction, they need to stop working with Oracle in next couple of years. Still, SAP is very good with SQL, Microsoft. Why? Because they are working with Silverlight as of now to replace Java. Silverlight were very good. There are few customers, instead of Java stack, they are using Silverlight. Next thing, DB2. IBM also, like IBM hardware, like to support HANA, IBM hardware is the certified hardware. Most of the customers they are with IBM, so they can use DB2. But tomorrow, definitely they will face all these problems, whatever the problems they are facing with Oracle from last 10 years. So that's why they strongly decided we should release something new and something hot in the market. So from that idea, HANA DB is not only a database. HANA DB is just a database, people used to say, and they used to call it as appliance. So database, as already we know from so many databases, your database is just a database. And from HANA, your database is not only a database, it is kind of a appliance also. So to support the capabilities of HANA database, SAP has introduced in-memory computing. So in-memory, so your database, on top of the database, yesterday we discussed your HANA appliance is a combination of in-memory plus HANA DB. So in memory, you can say in memory and HANA DB. So database already we know, it is kind of a same database again, same database, but in addition to that, they released in-memory computing. So in-memory computing, then we can say it is an HANA appliance. If you don't have in-memory, we can just call this as a HANA database. So, oh, sorry. Okay, in memory, on top of HANA database, if you have in memory, we are calling this as HANA appliance, high performance analytics, high performance analytics appliance. So this is HANA. So this was introduced, already we discussed, this was introduced as a database in 2011, and within the next year itself they announced it as in-memory computing. So that's why we used to say 2012 HANA was introduced as a DB, as in-memory computing also, as an appliance also. But from 2012 they are struggling to market that product because in-memory computing is very new. People, they have all the doubts where your request will be processed. You are replacing application server or you are replacing database structure. So the existing customers of Oracle DB and other databases, to work with the new environment called in-memory and HANA DB, most of the people, they are not happy with the way SAP is behaving with HANA DB. So that's why people, they didn't capture the market what they are expected from 2012 to 2015. That's why people used to say HANA is a failed product. HANA is not failed product, but it's not reached the customers exactly what SAP is thinking about. So that's why by keeping all the challenges aside, SAP, they announced S4 HANA. SAP HANA is not a failed product, guys. People used to say it is failed product, but it's not. S4 HANA 1511 was introduced. So the HANA capabilities is introduced on Business Suite. Earlier if you talk about your ECC used to work with HANA, ECC on HANA, and again CRM, SRM, SEM, MDM, GTS, all these are on other databases. Other databases like again Oracle or DB2. It's up to you guys. Anywhere, however you want, you can maintain. So here I want DB2. This is the model we are following earlier. So your ECC on HANA, your BW on HANA. Except that, so rest of the environments, different databases we are using. So right from 2012, SAP is flexible. For real-time analytics companies, they started using BW and ECC and HANA. But rest of the environments are on Oracle and DB2. So that's why, but even CRM, SRM, SCM, MDM and GTS also can use HANA. So that was released as Business Suite on HANA. That product name is S4 HANA. Guys, you can stop me there itself if you have any doubts or any clarification or something we are going beyond the limit. Just let me know. Stop me there itself. Got it, guys? So till 2015, 2012 to 2015, this was the approach. HANA is not mandatory, but to support in-memory computing, to support real-time analytics, only ECC and BW they used to work on HANA, but rest of the environments, whatever the databases, they can use it. But again, to communicate HANA to Oracle, Oracle to DB2, different databases, different data structures will be used, but to consolidate all the information between ECC to CRM, SRM, GTS, we used to have different challenges. That's why, as a fourth generation product, SAP has introduced Business Suite on HANA. So here, as a package, everything will come. We don't want to install different products. So everything is on HANA. Everything is on HANA. Got it, guys? Got it, all of you?
Yeah, yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So next, Business Suite on HANA is introduced. So what is there in HANA? Why HANA is shipped with Business Suite now? So HANA, as we discussed yesterday, high performance, analytics appliance. Okay. So we are on HANA 2.0. Current version is HANA 2.0. SPS 05 just introduced. We are on SPS 05, but the certification will be available till SPS 04. So you will get training on SPS 04. So what is new here in terms of architecture? The first thing, after HANA, software and hardware innovations happened. Software, hardware innovations happen. So what is software innovations? What is hardware innovations? Anyone can answer.
Sir, it's like HANA is made up of software and hardware all together. That is why we are calling it appliance. So it is a new feature in HANA as a database, as an appliance. Like
Exactly.
we are having television, which is hardware as well as having software inside it. So it is appliance. So likewise, it is HANA.
Exactly. See, guys, I don't know what level you are on HANA. Listen me carefully. As Harshit explained, HANA is a database. Already we discussed, HANA is a database and in-memory computing is introduced, and your database and RAM is there on the, like there are two different layers. Just a moment, guys. Hello. Satyam, ఇంట్లోనే ఉన్నా. నేను 12 తర్వాత చేయనా? చెప్పు. అవునవును. సరే. అదే అర్థం. చేస్తాలే నేను చేస్తా నేను ఫోన్ చేస్తాలే నేను. సరే. Yep. Sorry, guys. So, as Harshit explained, earlier databases are Oracle DB is a software. But after HANA, SAP, they tied up with lot of hardware vendors. They tied up with EMC, they tied up with Cisco, they tied up with HP, they tied up with IBM, they tied up with some XYZ. So hardware vendors they tied up. Any customer is migrating from Oracle to HANA, they need to use the certified hardware from the hardware vendors list. So as per my knowledge, they tied up with 37 or 38 hardware vendors in the market. So these guys, when you talk to them, if someone wants to migrate to HANA, the first thing they need to get hardware vendors. So this is one of the beautiful features they are giving, because customers without their knowledge, if you are giving that option to customer to use any hardware, most of the SAP projects, most of the customers, like people who are not happy with SAP just because of the wrong combination of hardware, wrong combination of software. So some people, they don't use proper hardware, but they are expecting real-time analytics. They are expecting miracle should happen over the night. So finally, they will blame SAP. Even your basis consultant is not that experienced. So he has not planned the landscape properly. Then tomorrow, if something has happened, they don't take the blame. So they will blame SAP. Sir, SAP, there is no solution. So everything is proper. Why? Customer, they don't know. Customer, what they suggest, what you suggest, they will give you. But if your team, the planning team, your hardware, your basis team is not in proper experience, then definitely your implementation will fail. If they are successful also, if you are working on the guesses, tomorrow definitely they will face all these problems. Who is joined? Where is Pirlucci? Oh, he's there. Okay. Okay, guys. So that's why, as part of hardware and software innovations, they tied up with multiple hardware vendors. If someone wants to use HANA, they need to get a certified hardware, either from EMC or Cisco or HP or IBM, then they can work. Even this is not like a single decision, like even 1 minute or 1 day we cannot take decision. So if I want to go with IBM, like Tesco, let us take Tesco or Amcor, we can say Amcor, Dow Jones. So there are different customers. Let us take Tesco is planning from Oracle to HANA. Let us take. So they have suggested HANA, but after HANA, the earlier database, earlier hardware, whatever they are using, it is not a certified hardware. So they are using their own hardware. It is okay up to Oracle, but if you want to use HANA, they want to use any of the certified hardware. So to use HANA and in-memory capabilities, they need to change the hardware also. So anyone will use it? No. That's why HANA used to say HANA is a failed product, but it's not. So, but after S4 HANA, the existing customers of HANA can migrate their hardware also as part of greenfield implementation. As part of the brownfield, they can convert from Oracle to HANA or one operating system to another operating system. If your hardware is good and it is a certified hardware, it is good, we can start with the conversion. If your hardware is not been proper and you are trying to use HANA, but SAP, they don't guarantee the same capabilities will work for your hardware or not, because your hardware capabilities are less and it won't support high performance analytics. You're getting, guys? So the planning team has to take the decision whether you want to go with the greenfield or brownfield. To go to greenfield, HANA won't support this hardware. Then they need to go with the greenfield implementation. Why? Because hardware should be changed. So your hardware is the certified hardware, and they are using all the products as per the SAP compliance list or as per the SAP product availability matrix. Then they can go with the brownfield. Guys, are you clear? Are you clear, guys? All of you?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Good. So that's why, as part of the software and hardware innovations, like multiple hardware partners, certified hardware partners, they have given this HANA database, and inbuilt HANA database, you will get it with the hardware. You can get any EMC or Cisco or HP or IBM. So they had multiple discussions with these people to support HANA. How many CPUs are needed? How many cores are needed? What is the network input output? So accordingly, their hardware partners are introduced the new hardware to support HANA. If you go to cloud also, Amazon AWS will work. For other customers, in one way it will work. If you mention HANA, Amazon AWS on HANA will be different. The hardware models what they will release will be different. You're getting, guys? So it is not like a normal hardware what we are using from so many years. If you mention HANA, if your customer is talking to any of the hardware partners, if you mention HANA, then it will be different. I'll show you one small example. AWS, how it will be. AWS, GCP also we can go. Google Cloud or anything. Guys, you can see this carefully. So see here. Okay, this is already stopped, right? Okay, let me launch one more instance. See this, guys. So here, if you just come down, there are certified hardware vendors. As I told you, you can select anything. Okay, let me take this one, SUSE Linux. See here, guys, all of you. Just a moment. Okay, so here we can see all of you. T2, we can see here. Just a moment. Yep. You can see here, guys, all of you. Memory optimized. You can see here. Memory, general purpose, anyone can use it. But if you just come to memory optimized, See here, R5. These are the servers we are using. R5, R5 large, extra large, large, extra large, normal large. See, here we can able to see these are the existing hardware partners, certified hardware partners for SAP. Here we can able to see whatever the RAM we have. So RAM, how much is there? See here, 1952 GB means how much it is approximately? 3 TB. 3 TB, 32 large, 32 sizes. There are t-shirt models will be there. HANA will release as a t-shirt size, t-shirt sizes. So this hardware, 3 TB of RAM we have here. So per second in network IOPS, how much it is, you can see here. Getting guys, these are to support HANA, big data, AWS is released. Memory optimized and high performance also we have. Memory optimized, general purpose. This is storage optimized. Storage optimized will be used for the disaster setup and we can say high availability, this will be used. Okay. So memory optimized is only released for the HANA database. We can see 64 GB RAM is fine. That's fine. 768, there are different combinations. So here we can able to see how many CPUs are there. See here, the same hardware which I referred, extra large 16, memory optimized, you can see. So where you have M, R, so that is the optimized hardware, we need to get it. And these are the number of CPUs. How many CPUs are using here? So we don't want to select anything. Very simple. Earlier, you have the RAM, proper RAM you are using 768 GB, but you don't have the proper CPUs. Let us take 768 GB RAM you have, but the CPUs are only 8 CPUs we use. Why? Because your management confirmed that only 1000 people will work. To support 1000 people, 8 CPUs are enough, but it will create the problem. It is not optimized. That's why any hardware vendor you go, just I have given example as AWS, but if you go to Google Cloud, if you go to EMC, if you go to Cisco, there are different combination of hardwares like that. Getting all of you?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, yes.
So only if you go to the ready-made shop, what you are doing, if you go to the tailor, you need to give the measurements on each and everything. Your collar you need to give measurement, you need to, hands you need to give, and stomach you need to give, backside you need to give. Then only, if one measurement is not in proper, then tomorrow it leads to other issues. That's why if you go to ready-made shops, in India usually the sizes will be, standard sizes will be there. If you go to 34, 35, 36, 40, 44, standard sizes. But if you go to other countries, those are optimized sizes. 44, different sizes will be there again. In the 44, hand size, different sizes, 2-3 sizes will be there. So, okay, pant I'll give you. If you go to US and other countries, 36 by 10, 36 by 12, 36 by 14. 36 is a waist size, but height 10, 12, 30, like that it will be. So, but India, we don't get like that. India 36 means only 36. Standard size you will get it, and their tailors will be there. So that those tailors will alter and it will give you. But other countries, so 36, there are 4 or 5 different sizes will be there. If you go to 38 waist size, then again 3-4 different heights will be there. The same way, customer can choose anything. They can go to large, extra large, or normal, metal. So number of CPUs they can select here. How much RAM they want, they can select everything here. So once they are selected, they are done. Their hardware will be launched, and once it is launched, they can able to access their hardware. It is very simple, guys. But this planning only, we used to take approximately 20% of implementation time. We used to spend only on the planning part. You're getting, guys? If you are agreed for 1 year of time for SAP implementation, if you are agreed 1 year, 2 months of time we spent only on the planning. Planning in the sense hardware, softwares, and to come to the conclusion on the hardware. Like if I say 8 CPUs, someone will come and they will say 16 CPUs. Other day discussion will be like we need to increase RAM. 732 is not sufficient. Someone will say 600. Why? Because there are multiple people, decision makers are there. We don't come to the conclusion on the single point. So that's why planning will take a lot of time. Here, no planning, guys. It's very simple. All the sizes will be there. You need to choose either this or this or this. Once we are done, that's it. We are launched. You're getting, guys? Getting all of you?
Yeah.
Software innovation and hardware innovation. So leave the compression part. Compression we'll discuss after 4th point. Next. So row storage and column storage. Row storage and column storage. What is row storage and column storage? Row storage in the sense, the data will be stored into the rows. Okay, let me take this. You can just refer this. Even this document, I'll share it to you once we are done with the session. Yep. So see this carefully. As part of the software innovations, row storage and column storage is introduced. Row storage in the sense, let us take, there is a table, one Excel sheet is there. So row storage in the sense, it will be stored like this. In the back end, in the table spaces, A5, B4, C3, D4, E2, F4, like that. If you have 10 columns, it will take everything and it will be stored into the rows. But column wise in the sense, based on the primary, based on the secondary, based on the foreign keys, the data will be stored like this. So that means the columns, the data will be captured, the rows will be taken out and it will be stored in the columns. So tomorrow, when you are searching, select star from employee, where employee name equal to Ramesh, then see, it will search here. Let me make it big. If I want to search about K, okay, employee name equal to M, then it has to read this. It has to read everything. Then it will be on here. So if you want to get single information, it has to read all the records here. There are some duplicate entries. There are some absolute values. Absolute records are there. So, but it has to read all the rows. So, but this will be used for the real-time analytics. Real-time data if you want. Online data if you want. Row storage will be used. But from the row stores, the data will be processed like this. And it will be stored into rows and columns. So tomorrow if I want to search based on the primary key, so primary key is Ramesh or M, it will search in the primary key in the column 1. Okay, Ramesh, where is Ramesh? It is here. Then Ramesh, then it goes to directly the table which is associated with Ramesh. So the salary details of Ramesh I want. then it will goes to Ramesh record, Ramesh salary details. So it is kind of a, we don't want to go to round and robin here. So it is very simple. In the diagonal way, first it will search about the primary, it will search about the secondary, then the respective associate records will be verified and it will give you. In the simple terms, if you say, your rows will be used for the online transaction processing, OLTP. So for online transaction purpose, online transaction purpose, rows will be used. So column storage, as I told you, row storage, if user wants, he wants to see the small number of records, very small number of records he want to retrieve. Like, what is your name? My name is Ramesh. So the Ramesh should be displayed. What is your phone number? My phone number is so and so. What is your employee ID? So and so. Get the sales report of one person or one user. Get the sales report from last 1 hour of one user. Then it will get it from the row storage. But get the sales report from last 1 year or last 2 months for all the users. So one record, it won't be there. It has to capture the data from multiple records. Parallel processing is needed. So then it will be used for the OLAP. So guys, are you do you know what is OLAP and OLTP? Anyone? Anyone can answer? Harshit, what is OLAP and OLTP?
OLTP is like current running transactions. Like if we are going into ATM and withdrawing the money, it would be OLTP.
Yes.
And OLAP is something like some past data or some warehouse
So,
data
yes,
warehousing and
yes,
all.
I got my answer. Yes. See, OLTP for online transaction processing. OLTP, online transaction processing. So, as Harshit explained, ATM, you are going to get the money from your account. If the money is there, you will get it. That's it. You are done with the transaction. It's very simple transaction. From one record, one table, the data will be pulled and it will display. But if you have any complex queries, OLAP means online analytical processing. Online analytical processing. Okay. Online analytical processing in the sense, the same way. In the dashboard, you clicked on that, you want to see the sales report, or in the ATM only, I want to take the complete consolidated information, like all the transaction report I want to see. Like today, from morning to till date, how many people they came to ATM, how much amount is deposited, how much is withdrawn, and how many duplicate transactions are there. The complete consolidated information I want it. So multiple records will be updated. Multiple records will get the information. So here OLAP will be used. So for online analytical processing, column storage will be used, and online transaction processing, row storage will be used. This is the first part as part of the software innovations. Next, parallel processing. What is parallel processing, guys? What is parallel processing? Anyone can answer. What is parallel processing? You have multiple CPUs, guys. So in the last Amazon slide you have seen how many CPUs? 64 CPUs are there. How these CPUs will distribute the load? That is parallelization. You're getting, guys? All of you?
Yes.
Yes, Ramesh.
If you have 64 CPUs, 64 CPUs, how the load will be distributed. In normal application servers, you know, application server 1, if it is busy, it goes to application server 2. If that is busy, it goes to 3. If it is busy, it goes to 4, 5, 6, something like that. But here, you are scheduling one background job. You are scheduling one background job. Okay, let us take client copy. Client copy, 10,000 records it is processing. It is copying 10,000 records. 10,000 records it is copying by only one work process. Only if it is one core is busy, then rest of 63 cores are completely free. You are getting, guys? In the system, only one user is working. One user, but very lengthy transaction is executing. So that lengthy transaction is this. Client copy is doing, it is copying almost 90,000 plus tables, it is getting copied. If one core is busy with this job, then we are not using other cores. So to process multiple records from multiple columns will be distributed between different cores or different CPUs. Are you getting, guys, all of you?
Yes, Ramesh.
But earlier, if you take Oracle DB, if you take Max DB, or if you take DB2, parallelization is not possible. So if one transaction is handled by one work process and one core is assigned to this, only that core used to process your job. But after HANA, one column, one table, whatever is happening in the backend, the same client copy which I mentioned, 90,000 tables are getting copied. That means 90,000 columns will be used here. Those 90,000 columns will be shared. The processing is shared between different cores, different CPUs. How beautiful it is. That is the reason HANA is capable of processing any transaction in fraction of seconds, in milliseconds of time, any lengthy transaction. Earlier, you know, your salary, all the companies, they used to stop the transactions and payroll, they used to start on 3rd week of every month. By 19th and 29th, 19th or 20th, they will stop everything. After 20th, if you travel also, it won't be recorded this month. Next month salary, they will deduct. But today, it's not like that. Why? Because salary process is just a one-day process today. But 10 years back, if you talk about, by 19th or 20th only, they used to finalize all the accounts. By 21st, if they start the payroll process, by 30th, we used to get the salaries. But the processing will take hell lot of time, because if one core is assigned, only that core will be busy with that job. So there is no concept called multi CPUs, multi cores. If multi cores are there also, one transaction will be processed by one core. So then other cores will be completely empty and useless until and unless another request started pushing something. Because of this architecture or parallelization concept, even one transaction or 1,000 transactions, how many records user is accessing, based on that number of cores will be used here. So one request will be shared between different transactions or different cores. This is parallelization. Getting, guys? This is kind of a load balancing, guys. Are you clear, all of you?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
rest will continue tomorrow, and tomorrow we'll continue with the architecture. So here architecture will come into the picture. We'll discuss. Any doubts today, all of you? Nandish, Manohar, Alvin, Alan?
No, sir. No.
So if you have any doubts, you can call me. Even we can discuss anytime.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay then. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Let's meet tomorrow. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Thank you.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, good morning, guys. Hope you have a nice weekend. Okay. So, can you recap what we discussed in the last session? Nandesh?
Then last class we discussed
Yeah, go ahead. Whatever you remember, just try to explain. That's fine.
how HANA Studio is on DB, like that we discussed in last class.
Okay. That's fine. Let me open the material. Okay, let me share my screen. Yep. So, can you able to see my screen?
Yes, yes, Ramesh.
Yes. So, guys, in last 2-3 classes, we discussed so many things about SAP HANA and the differences between SAP ECC and SAP HANA. So today we are discussing HANA architecture. So we have seen SAP R3 architecture, 3-tier architecture, and ECC, how it is different, and S4 HANA architecture also we have seen. But HANA, how HANA architecture is different to SAP R3. So if you talk about traditional databases, so they don't have any architecture. In fact, they have lot of processes, but their processes, the DB processes will interact with SAP processes or SAP services, then jobs will be processed. So if you don't have any specific architecture in terms of SAP, but the Oracle or DB2 or MaxDB or other databases, they have their own architecture, but in terms of SAP, the way, the approach will be different. So right from HANA, we have a specific architecture. Why? Because SAP HANA is designed for the SAP projects and SAP customers, and whatever the issues we are facing earlier with the different databases, by keeping everything in mind, so they are inherited. In the last class we discussed, they are inherited in-memory concept and real-time analytics and the replication. There are a lot of topics. They are inherited from Sybase and MaxDB, and the multi-tenant concept also, it is inherited from MaxDB. So they introduced separate database called HANA database. So in fact, the most of the concepts in SAP HANA as inherited from the other databases like MaxDB and Sybase. and they developed a separate database called HANA DB. So initially they shipped as a HANA DB, and later in the next release itself, in the next couple of months, they released HANA DB plus in-memory computing. So what do you have in HANA system? So HANA as a DB, as already you know that. But if you just talk about HANA system, on top of HANA DB, you have in-memory computing. So what we can do with this? So old days, if your database is with Oracle, if your database is exhausted because of any reason, you need to set up a separate database, and again, like the cluster environment we need to develop. So we don't have the concept called single node or multi-node or distributed environment. We don't have on the DB part. We have that concept only on the SAP part. So why? Because HANA database is from SAP. That is the reason the same concept they are introduced in the DB level also. So how many databases? Database is only one. Physically the database is only one. But before the DB, you have multi-node architecture or multi-system architecture. So different instances, one single host, multi-host, and single node, multi-node architecture. So these are the two different approaches they have introduced here. So your SAP HANA system, if your database is on HANA, and if you are with Oracle, if you are with the HANA system, your HANA administration, everything can be done through HANA Studio, HANA Cockpit, DBA Cockpit. There are different tools we have, but everything we can do from the HANA system itself. So your HANA system can be installed, as I told you, it can be installed as a single node system or multi-node system. So single node system is only one node. So system DB, tenant DB will be there on top of it. And if you have a multi-node architecture or distributed architecture, so in one host, you can install multiple nodes. That is one approach. The second approach, in different host, one host, one node we can implement. So it's purely our requirement. So based on the hardware your management is giving, and based on the database size what you need, and based on the configurations, like based on the configurations in the sense how many teams are going to work, how many people are going to work, how much RAM is needed, how many CPUs are needed, what is the network IOPS. So based on everything, we need to decide whether it is a single node architecture or a multi-node architecture, whether it is a single host mission or a multi-host mission. So your SAP HANA instance is the same concept as we are using in SAP. So their instance means your application server should be configured as a instance. Instance. So your application server should be configured as instance. That means it is a normal application server, but you are making some changes based on your requirement. So you are configuring this as a central instance. That means you are creating some work process. There are some default settings to each and every application server. If you do that, it can be called as an instance. And later, whether it is a central instance or a dialog instance, you are configuring. So that is in the application level. So that is in SAP R3, SAP R3 or SAP ECC we can configure. Or S4 HANA also the similar approach we are following. Even S4 HANA also. So, but in terms of DB, if you just talk about HANA DB, so the same concept is same, but only the difference here is SAP instance, SAP HANA instance you need to configure. So SAP HANA instance in the sense single node, multi-node. So single node in the sense everything will be like whatever the instances you have. So it is just a normal computer. But on top of this, if you install HANA database processes, if you install, this can be called as SAP HANA instance. So how you are installing work process here, the same way, here we need to install some of the processes, whether it is a single node or a multi-node architecture, So there are certain processes, the same way how you have message, gateway, enq, dialog, background, update, spool. So these are multiple work process you have. So central instance, some work process will be there, and dialog instances, there are different work process here. So it's better if you stop using CI and DI concept. CI and DI terms, you should stop using it. Instead of that, you can use primary application server and additional application server. Okay, next. So there are certain questions on the certification also. So related to CI, related to DI. So you should be very careful with the terminology also. So here single node architecture, multi-node architecture is introduced. The same concept, only the difference here is here 100 application servers we can configure. Here nodes, there is no limit. How many nodes you want to configure, it's up to you. So some people used to say master node or slave nodes. It's up to you. So tenants we can say. And what are the processes will be there? The same way how you have message, gateway, enq and DBUS here. In the regular ECC and S4 HANA architecture, in terms of SAP, if you talk about, these are the processes you have. Already we know that. In the central instance, we have message, gateway, enq and DBUS. And in case of dialog instances, you have dialog, background, update and spool work process. But in HANA, what do you have? HANA, what do you have? Anyone knows about it? So before HANA, most of the customers, they used to work with HANA, Oracle DB, and Oracle DB processes are SGMon, PMon, and log writer, DB writer, SGA. So like this, there are different processes. SGMon, PMon, log writer, DB writer, SGA, and in the shared global area, you have other memory areas also. So this is there from this is there in the Oracle DB, and if you go to other databases, there are certain processes like that. But there is no concept like single node or multi-node architecture except MaxDB. None of the databases is having it. So these database processes will directly communicate with the work process in the central instance or dialog instances. Then the work will be processed. But after HANA, single node and multi-node architecture is introduced. So what is there in HANA? What are the processes we have here? Anyone knows about it? Anyone? See this carefully, guys. So whether it is a single host or a multi-node configuration. See this guys carefully, and if you have any doubts or any clarification needed on anything, you can stop me there itself. Okay, so if you have only one computer on top of the HANA DB, if you have only one computer, multi-node, multi-instances you don't have, then everything will be installed on the same DB. So let us talk about HANA DB. In HANA DB, there are certain processes called name server, index server, preprocessor, compile server, access engine, script server, statistics server, and D1. So SAP Start SRV is the program. Whenever you are starting your HANA DB, the same way application servers, how it is starting, the same service will be used here also, SAP Start SRV. So I think I've mentioned somewhere. Yes. So see this slide, guys. So SAP HANA server, if you talk about, when you are starting your SAP HANA system, SAP Start SRV is the program. SAP Start SRV is the program. That program will use two services called HDB daemon and SAP Start service. So in the Start service, guys who are already working with SAP, you might know all these things. There is a Start profile in SAP. Have you heard about the Start profile? What are the other profiles you have? Rahul?
Default instance.
Yeah. Go ahead, Manavar.
Default instance profile.
Default instance profile, right?
Yes.
So after HANA, guys, listen me carefully. After HANA, we don't find this Start profile.
Yes.
So why we don't have Start profile after HANA? So
Sir, Harshit, sir, I think after 7.2 NetWeaver, we are not having a Start profile.
exactly, that's true. So why we don't have Start profile? That is my question.
Because Start related parameters are now coming into instance profile.
So instance profile, but you have SAP Start SRV program, right? SAP Start SRV program, you have it. So this program, as you say, this program is interacting with the instance profile, right? So my question is very simple. So SAP Start sequence, you know Start sequence, right? Right, Harshit, right? Harshit or Rahul?
Harshit, that was
Yeah. Harshit, tell me, what is the start sequence? What will start first?
So, first of all, that SAP Start SRV services will start, and then the corresponding applications start.
Okay. Okay. Let us talk about application. Okay, just give me the start sequence. What will start first? First, database will start.
First database, then CS, then PAS, then
DS,
services.
then CS, then CI. Correct.
Then CI and then DI. Yes.
Then DI. So, okay. In the stop sequence, reverse, right?
Yeah.
Anyone can answer. So, my question is very simple. The Start SAP Start SRV is the program. This will be get executed to start all the instances. We are just giving the command called start SAP space all, or SAP control. You are giving instance number and everything. So it is getting started. This is a sequence. First database will start, then CSI will start, then CI will start, then DI will start. So whatever the services you have here. So earlier, if you talk about 720 and before 720, start profile, what start profile contains? What start profile contains? What do you have in start profile earlier? Anyone can answer. What start profile contains?
Parameters for starting a system.
Just parameters?
Or like SAP start
So
SRV.
can you name some parameters? Can you name some parameters like that? Yeah, go ahead. Arshit.
Yeah, sir, I'm thinking actually which parameter should be there. Never worked on 7.2.
Okay. That's fine. See, as already you know that there are 3 profiles are introduced by SAP right from first version, right from SAP R2. The start profiles are there. Start profile is there. But start profile contains your application servers. So, what application server? Whether it is a CI or a DI. So, whatever the application servers you have, all the application servers will be started. Then it will start with the CI. Message server will start. Why message server is needed? Why message server is needed here? Why? Because if message server is started, then only the dialog instances will start. If message server is not started here, then the dialog instances, it won't start. So that's why the dependent files are there in the central instance. Message server will start. Then gateway will start. Next, logs and daemon will be there. System logs and daemon will be there. So logs and daemon, log receive daemon. There are 2 things here in the start profile. That means very simple. However the servers are starting here, however the servers are stopping, stopping information will be recorded by daemon. So that service is moved out of start profile, and there is a separate service is introduced after HANA DB. So that's why the start profile is moved out of your SAP. So we are not using this, but internally this SAP start SRV program will call the SAP daemon, as I told you, SAP daemon, and as I told you, message server, gateway, ICM, and you can take dispatcher. All these we used to start along with the start profile. So if you don't start this, then there is no point of starting the dialog instances. So that's why we used to have all these things in the start profile. So not only this, if you want to start something else which you want to start along with SAP, we used to keep it in the start profile. So in the start profile, the major things are message server and application servers, like how many application servers you have, and gateway. These are the major 3 things. But as I told you, SAP start daemon and log receive daemon and log send daemon. These 2 services are combined in the SAP HANA daemon, and that service is a separate service we are getting, and there is no need of start profile from now on. So, and these anyhow, these we are starting, these are moved to the central service instance, and we are starting them in the separate instance. So that's why this is moved out of SAP now. But the same services are called by the SAP Start SRV program. Getting, guys, all of you? All of you.
Yes.
So, so SAP daemon, we don't have a separate service earlier before HANA DB. So that is the reason we used to have a separate profile for the log receive and log send. Separate service we used to have. Along with that, we have a message gateway and ICM dispatcher and everything, but we don't need now. So after HANA DB, as I told you, after HANA DB, SAP Start SRV is the program will directly interacting with the daemon profile. So earlier, SAP Start SRV program used to interact with the start profile. Then whatever the services are mentioned in SAP Start SRV or start profile, those services used to start. But here, the daemon is here to get the log information and to send the information back to the user. So you can see here carefully, SAP Start Service and SAP Daemon, these are the two SAP Start services like what you have in SAP Start profile. Along with this, these are the database core processes. You can see all these things carefully, guys. You can stop me if you need any clarification on anything. Index server, the first one is index server, second one is name server, and third one access server, and SAP web dispatcher, and compile server, preprocessor, statistic server, script server. These are the core services, core DB processes for HANA DB. And some services like lifecycle manager, SDB, there are some processes like HDB, user, there are some processes like that. And SAP HANA Studio and client, SAP host control, it's SMD agent, third-party tools. These are all dependent, like based on the tools you are using, based on the applications you are using here. So you may implement any of the tools based on your requirement. So these are mandatory HANA auxiliary processes like HANA Lifecycle Manager and SDB processes and SAP HANA Studio and client. But these are dependent whether we can implement here or whether we cannot implement, it's up to you. But these are mandatory services. So as I told you, see this carefully. This is the standard boot sequence. The same way how you mentioned, first database will start, but database what is starting here? As already you mentioned now, Harshit, first database will start, then CS will start, then CI will start, then dialog instances. Then only we can say your entire system is up and running. But if you just talk about old databases, we don't have any sequence like that. If you mention start DB, if you start any of the database, start you don't have, but stop you have certain like soft shutdown you have, hot shutdown you have, force you have. There are a couple of options to stop any of the databases. But in case of HANA, if you talk about, so the first thing, SAP init, SAP initialization boot file will be there. So if you go to etc hosts, this boot file will be there. The script will be get executed. So OS boot script will be executed based on the command you are giving. So what kind of commands we are using? So HANA database to start from your machine, if you are starting a HANA DB, so what kind of commands you are giving? So if you use, okay, let us take, I'm giving SAP control space hyphen nr instance number 00 function start. So SAP control, this is a command. SAP control is the program. Number, instance number is 0. Function is start. So if you give this command, your database will start. Your database will start. Or you can use something else also. If you go to the directory where your directory is installed, where your HANA-DB is installed, user SAP, let us take your SID, HDB, and the instance number, let us take 00, and start HDB, start. Even this is how you can go. So in case of Linux or Unix, we can go to the respective directory and SID and just go to start option, then it will start. So this is one way. And if you have the SAP control program, if you have the daemon service, so automatically this script will be get executed, as I mentioned in the last slide. So if you have this service on the particular port number, and directly the SAP control program will be interacted with the SAP daemon and your database will start. So what is the sequence here? See this carefully. See this carefully, all of you. Standard SAP boot sequence, SAP HANA internal start sequence. So once you execute that script, the script which I have given just now, if you execute SAP control nr so and so function, then that script will be get executed. SAP host control will be there, and SAP start service will be there. SAP host control will take the details, like whatever the details you are giving, instance number and the function and whatever you are giving, based on this, these will be carried forward, and this SAP host control will help SAP start service to start the respective services what is there in the particular host. Host number, host, SAP HDB, HANA HDB is the host. So this bootstrap file will like SAP host control will read that file, and it will help SAP start service to start the respective services with the help of SAP HDB daemon. So HDB daemon, as already we know that HDB daemon will communicate with all the processes here, whatever the processes we have, as we discussed: name server, index server, preprocessor, compile server, access engine, script server. All these are interacted with the daemon, and this is how your SAP HANA DB will start. So we are very particular, and if any HANA DB related issues you are getting, it is not able to start, then verify the daemon service, verify the SAP control program, verify the host control. Somewhere we'll get to know what kind of issue it is. So once HANA Studio is opened, I'll show you how to resolve the startup related issues in terms of HANA DB also. In SAP, we know so many things. There are different ways we have. We'll discuss in the troubleshooting part. So what do you have here? See this carefully, guys, all of you. See this carefully. Yep. So your name server, the first service in the name server. So your landscape information, your name server contains landscape information. So your landscape, whether it is a single node or multi-node architecture, or how many, what is the host name, what are the port numbers you have, where name server is hosted, where index server is hosted, and which port number preprocessor is there, compile server, access engine, and what is the what is the SID, what is the IP address, the complete landscape information, whether it is on a single node or a cluster environment, the complete information will be maintained here. So your HANA DB, whenever the particular request is coming to HANA DB, your HANA DB, the respective engines will talk to the name server, with the help of the name server only. These will establish connection to the respective engines. So if it is unable to read the name server, we don't know what are the nodes you have, how many servers you have, how many services you have. We don't have the information. So if you are unable to read the name server, the daemon service, if it is unable to read the name server, there is no point of having the connection to your HANA DB. So index server uses name server to process any of the requests. Index server has lot of services. Like a central instance, you have index server here. So index server job is to process your request. But the actual processing will be done by the index server, but it will take the help from either name server or preprocessor server, compile server, access engine. There are lot of services. I'll explain one by one how it will work. So name server contains the namespaces, metadata information, information about the landscape. The complete information will be located in the name server. So name server directly, it won't interact with any of the user requests, but rest of the services will use name server. So the name server will, the particular service, the name server will be located in all the instances. If you have 100 instances, name server will be there in 100 instances. So this name server contains the information about all the rest of the services in the particular instance and in the global instance also. Next, index server. Indexing. In other databases, indexes will be maintained. So with the help of indexes only, we can do restore, we can do recovery, backups, and everything we can do from there. But here, your index server is a place where all your transactions will run. So whatever the requests are coming from the users, whatever they are trying to update into the DB, whatever they want to retrieve from the DB, all the operations will be managed and executed by the index server. So index server is the backbone to HANA DB, and rest of the services will used by the index server. So index server uses name server, preprocessor, compile server, and rest of the services to process one request. So your request directly won't interact with any of the other services other than index server. Next, preprocessor server. Preprocessor server. Preprocessing. Your index server, before it is started processing any of the job, your request will be handled by the preprocessor server. So index server will help preprocessor. So preprocessor will analyze your request. So whatever the request is coming to your HANA DB, the text analysis will be done by the preprocessor server. It will be analyzed the text what you are giving. You are giving select star from employee, where employee name equal Ramesh. So you are giving a stored procedure, or you are writing a SQL statement. So the text analysis will be done by the preprocessor server. So this preprocessor will decide whether user is sending a view or a SQL query or a stored procedure. Based on that, it will inform to the index server there is a stored procedure is coming to us. So our SQL statement someone is executed. So that information will be sent to index server. Guys, hope you are clear, all of you. All of you.
Yeah. Yes.
Any clarification needed on anything? All of you guys.
Ramesh.
Okay, good. Okay, let me proceed with the other services. Guys, see the sequence also. Name server is the first, it will be get updated whenever you are doing the installation or whenever you are doing the configuration. So the name server will be get updated. So only name server is needed. It contains the configuration information, metadata information, landscape information. So all the rest of the services are working properly in the sense your name server is configured properly and there is no issue with the name server. So we should be very careful with this. Next, index server, as I already explained, your SAP transactions will be get executed in the DB with the help of index server. Next, text analysis will be done by the preprocessor. So what kind of in SAP, if the request is coming from SAP GUI or web browser or business client or whatever the source it is, the request goes to ICM. ICM will take the decision what kind of request it is and where we need to send. If the request is coming from a GUI, so ICM will directly send that request to dispatcher. If the request is coming from web browser, the request will be sent to Java Stack and there Java dispatcher will take your request. So like that, the same kind of job will be done by the preprocessor. But here, HANA DB, we don't have this classification. HANA DB, the request is coming to HANA DB means whether it is a stored procedure or a SQL statement, or if you have anything, any other format, so that will be decided by the preprocessor. Next, compile server. What is compile server? What is compile server? Your compile server performs the compilation of the stored procedure. So as preprocessor is decided here, whether the user is processing a stored procedure or SQL statement, based on the type of the request, your compile server will help the request to execute. So index server uses compile server to execute one stored procedure or to execute one SQL scripts. So even compile server is used by the index server. Getting all of you? Okay, no problem guys. Next. So your compilation, whether it is a SQL statement or a stored procedure, will be compiled by the compile server. So this is used by the index server. Next, access engine. What is access engine? Have you heard about access engine, guys? Anyone? What is access engine?
Enable the applications.
Yeah, anyone can explain, guys. Yeah, go ahead, Piluji.
We can develop an application in build by the XSA tool.
Okay. Okay. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. So access engine enables native HANA applications. Native HANA applications in the sense, this is kind of a lightweight application server. whatever the data sources, the data is coming. So if the data is coming from the devices, third-party devices, mobile devices, and if the data is coming from the, you can say, tablets. Okay, so your business is running on different locations. From the plants, you guys has given the tabs. The information is coming from the tab. The information is coming from the RF guns. The information is coming from the third-party data sources. So the native HANA applications, the communication will be established with the help of Access Engine. So that means your SAP HANA can be used for the layer kind of logic, and for the web services to use HANA tables and views, this will be used. So the simple terminology, if you talk about, so whatever the third party, like you can take HTTP or HTML or client-side JavaScripts, whatever you have, and like OData services you have, and the server-side JavaScripts you have, and SQL scripts users are executing. So to connect to the DB, there are different ways you have. So one small example I'll give you. So you have Fiori. Fiori will be connected to backend systems with the help of OData services. And from Fiori, you can run any of the JavaScripts. To establish connection between Fiori and HANA DB, and HANA Studio and HANA DB, HANA Cockpit and HANA DB, the communication will be established with the help of Access Engine. This is part of your HANA DB only, but the importance of Access Engine is this will establish connection between the different data sources to HANA DB. So it controls the logic, it controls the flow of communication. So that will be done by the Access Engine. You're getting, guys, all of you? Got it? Or any clarification needed? Guys, see this Access Engine. So request handler will be there. So the request handler will take your request from whatever the sources the data is coming, whether it is HTML or XML. As I told you, if the request is coming from a SQL or stored procedures, directly the index server will take your job. But if anywhere your HTML is involved or HTTP is involved, that means if the request is coming from a web browser, so then Access Engine is needed. So with the help of Access Engine only, your request will be processed. You are getting, all of you?
Yes, Ramesh.
The same way as Java Stack, how it was handling your request. Above Stack, how it was handling request is like this. But how Java Stack is handling request is like this. So whatever the request is coming from the Internet Explorer or HTML or APIs, so we need to configure SAP Web Dispatcher. If you have Access Engine, if you have a third-party communication, we need to configure SAP Web Dispatcher. So Web Dispatcher will communicate with Internet Explorers, different explorers, however your teams are trying to connect it. Then HTTP provider service will take your request, then it will communicate with the Access Engine. Access Engine will be part of HANA DB, as you know. And if the request is a stored procedure or a SQL, directly index server will take your job. But Access Engine will be used only if the request is coming from Internet Explorer without using any of the SQL or stored procedures. So request handler will take your job. Then session manager will establish one session will be created for the particular request. So until the user request is completed, your session manager will be like we will be busy with that particular request. So one session manager will establish one session, and this will be completely blocked until one request is completed. So that means one session manager will take one request at a time, and based on the type of the request, so multiple sessions will be established. So session manager will communicate with the authentication manager. Once the authentication manager verifies whether the user is a valid user or not, it will verify. If the user is a valid user and user is sending a valid request, then session manager job is completed. Then authenticate session manager will establish the connection to the database. Then job scheduler will handle that job. So now session manager is able to take up another job. So session manager will try to communicate with the job scheduler. Why? Because the job should be processed in the database. So job scheduler will communicate with different data sources, like resource handlers will be there. So your HANA Studio, OData services will be used. Your big data Hadoop, either C++ will be used or JavaScript will be used. So based on the Internet Explorer, from which Explorer the request is coming, and what is the data source, what kind of technology is used in the backend, based on that, your request will be handled. So to handle those requests, we have different resource handlers like OData, C++, JavaScripts. So from which browser you are sending a request, your request will be converted to SAP HANA DB with the help of these request handlers. Then the job scheduler will take your job. So job scheduler will interact with the persistence layer. So if user is trying to pull some information, it will pull it from the persistence layer itself. If you don't have that information, the job scheduler will convert that request into SQL execution. So SQL, the statement will be converted to SQL with the help of either OData or static content or C++ or JavaScript. The job scheduler will convert that request into SQL format. So the SQL engine will take care of your job. So all these things are done by the access server. So first in the access server will interact with the HTTP server. Then within the So within the access server, we have session manager, as already you know that. Session manager will try to communicate with the authentication manager. Then authentication manager will verify your credentials and the type of the request. And based on that, resource handlers will help job scheduler to process this job. So the conversion should be happen. And their index server inheritance will be there. So index server, just a moment guys. I'm getting a call. Yeah. So one success server, this is kind of a index server inheritance, guys. The same kind of architecture will be used like persistence layer, SQL execution, but there are other executions here, not only SQL. You have stored procedure execution, and you have there are different executions. We'll discuss in the index server. So access engine, once the request is handled by the session manager, it will be verified your credentials with the help of authentication. Then with the help of resource handlers, there are different resource handlers, will help the job to execute by the SQL processor. So if you are trying to pull some information from the DB, persistence layer will be used. And if you don't have anything, you are trying to process some request with the help of name server, the topology will be located in the name server as we discussed. So the topology will be like a name server will be helpful to the index server inheritance, or SQL server or SQL processes will use name server to process your request. So again, the thing is directly the data, it won't be get updated into the DB in the disk storage. So name server will directly communicate with the index server. Without index server, we cannot able to run any of the job. That means whether it is a SQL request or whatever it is, SQL request means directly it will be handled by the index server. But if it is a non-SQL request, or it is a different stored procedure, different technology we are using, and the request is coming from an Internet Explorer, then the request will be handled by the access server. Once the processing is done, once your request is converted into native format, access engine will convert your request into native format. Why? Because the request is coming from HTML or web browsers, they are in the different format. So to convert your request into native format, these are the different resource handlers will be there in the access engine. Once it is converted to native format, then your SQL will handle your job. So then index server will take care of your request. So as you know, even access engine will be used by the index server. So if the request is coming from the Internet Explorer, index server can't able to process your request, then it will ask access engine to handle this job. Then only your request will be processed. Getting all of you? Yes. Next, script server and statistic server. Once we discuss these two things, we'll stop today. And tomorrow, one class is needed completely on index server. So, script server. If you are executing any of the AFLs, application functional libraries, so if you have application function libraries, these are libraries will be installed on your desktop, like HANA Studio you are installing on your desktop. So that is one AFL. That library is installed on your desktop, then only we are able to open HANA Studio and we are working on the HANA database. Like that, any of the application servers or any of the applications you want to deploy on the desktop and you want to use it further, then application functional libraries will be used. Those application function libraries are whatever you have, whatever the scripts you have, and you are installed on the desktop, and without using Internet Explorer, by using those scripts only you are working with the HANA DB. So script server will be used. Index server will just process your request, but in the back end, those scripts will be get executed by the script server. Next, statistic server. Statistic server, see this guys. Statistic server will be only one in the master node, and this will collect the status information of all the services, like how many services are there, when they are started, what kind of jobs are handling, how many people are trying to connect to the DB, and everything. How many requests has come, how many requests are processed, how many are cancelled, what is happening here. So complete logs will be updated by the statistics server. So all these services will be located on the master node and tenant nodes also. So only certain services won't be available in the tenants. So what are those services? We'll discuss in the next meeting. Getting, guys, all of you?
Yes, Ramesh.
Any doubts in this, guys? All of you? Any doubts?
No, sir.
All of you?
No, sir. No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. So these two materials I am sharing it to you today. You just go through that, and if you have any doubts or anything, you can directly reach out to me on my mobile. Okay. Thank you, guys. We'll meet tomorrow. Bye.